We've made a wrong turn, and Courtney and Ming and Mish and I are having an 80s themed sleepover, but I keep having visions of a rockabilly John Barenthal. This is the Wrong Turn Podcast.
I liked that one. That's a really good description of this guy.
That guy looks like John Barenthal. Like
he sure does. I like that you're having dreams of him, not me.
Yeah. So
which is funny. Sorry, go.
Yeah. We're moving away from summer, and school's starting up soon. That means nothing to us adults, but
no, it doesn't.
But perfect time to get with your friends and have some sleepovers on a weekend. You know.
Yeah, we have sleepovers all the time. Well, I guess you and Ming do, but you live together. I don't know if that really counts.
Did you have sleepovers when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. But I was that kid who would wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and be like, I'm going to go home now. Like I was just over it at that point.
Oh, yeah,
I was that kid.
I think like the few times I had a sleepover, I like slept in and be like never knew when to wake up. Like when's everybody else get up?
The kid that gets up early and goes in to like talks to the parents. I was also that kid.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to go on a whole lot of sleepovers. Like my parents like try to shelter me as much as possible. So be like, no. Yeah.
So you didn't have like a lot of actually like boy sleepovers. Like,
I had friends
like
sleepover.
6th grade, 7th grade, like sleepovers.
Yeah, like whatchamacallit. Yeah, no. I definitely had like a couple friends sleep over. We watch movies, eat pizza, do all the shit. And then in high school, like even more so, we're just like, I had like one friend that probably just slept over like all the time because he just, that's what we were doing.
Yeah, it was just like your bud. Yeah, he just kind of like lived with you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my best friend Lou and I we're kind of like that in a way. Like we would go back and forth from each other's houses like a lot.
Yeah. So burying the lead, we're doing Slumber Party Massacre 2, stuck in that great 80 cheese.
Cheesy fat. Like I like this movie. It's strange.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with part 1 or part 3.
Yeah, a clear example of like the sequel doing it much better than the original. The original is like a straightforward slasher. And I don't even remember if the slasher even talks in the first one. Creepy old man with the drill. The only through line between, I want to say, the original trilogy and the 2 remakes that we got in the last couple years is the drill. There's just the killer has to have some sort of drill. That's it. Right?
Driller killer, as he's called in this one.
So this one is rated at a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a whole love on Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic give it a 49%, but Google users give it a 78%. And I'm like, that's fine. Like this movie's still pretty fun. It's not the best movie, but like you know what you're getting into.
Exactly. It may not be the best, but it absolutely falls in line with everything that I love about horror movies. It's like a knockoff, like Nightmare on Elm Street, excuse me. I loved every second of it. I'm in love with the Driller Killer, truly.
Well, this one's the most charismatic.
He starts showing up with the guitar and that look and the leather jacket, and I was like, wait a second, is this my husband?
That's it's like it's exactly what I think the director Deborah Brock was going for, was like a sort of like Nightmare on Elm Street-esque killer, and that's why we get so many. Hey, I would have loved more of him. Like he had it
Me
actually.
too.
He carried this movie when we get to him.
He did.
And I'm just like,
he really
give
did.
me more of, not even a name, just the Driller Killer.
Just the Driller Killer.
Yeah.
And he's got a song. Fuck yeah.
Got a fucking musical. This is one step away from being like a full on musical. Like they should have just gone.
It's almost giving like Rocky Horror, like Eddie.
Yeah.
Another like Saturday night. Like
oh yeah.
It's really giving that. Eddie.
Yeah, that's fair. Not bad. All right, let's go through our main cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
We got Crystal Bernard, playing Courtney. I'm pretty sure there's like there are horror Easter eggs in here, like through and through. So it's just like,
oh,
really?
I tried to write down some of them, but I didn't get them all.
Like, yeah,
no,
yeah, I get like Courtney Bates. Come on,
yeah,
like Bates. Yeah, that's fair. Atanis Illich, is that how you pronounce his last name? Is the Driller Killer? Juliette Cummings, Sheila, Heidi, Kozak playing Sally, and then I believe it is, what was it? Kim MacArthur playing, was it Amy? I think, and I think
the little girl rock group.
Yeah, a little gem in the holograms, or the Bangles,
Go-Go's.
Or whatever, Go-Go's, what have you. And then Valerie, which is we forget is the fifth girl in this movie, playing Courtney's sister, who. This is the way they tie the two movies, is that this is a direct sequel because Crystal is one of the survivors from Slumber Party Massacre 1, and it is 6 years later. She is about 18 years old, and she is in high school, and like you said, she's in a girl band, and they're going to go away to Desert Springs for the week. Is Desert Springs a real place? Like, or is that just like something they made up for the movie?
It sounds like it might be, but I don't know.
We could look it up. Because that's what we're supposed to. Yeah,
we won't though.
We won't. No, we'll just assume. We'll just ask questions and let other people.
Yeah, we'll ask questions out into the out in there and just hope that someone just responds and it's like, actually.
Yeah. So it's kind of a little like. Also, like I said, a clear example of the sequel doing it much better than the original. I love how it goes off the fucking rails. Also, an example of when you have a title for the movie but you don't have a script. They did this one backwards. They sold the distribution for this movie, or the funding for this movie they got clearly on the name alone, and then they worked it backwards, which is, yeah, I could see that. Like,
yeah.
This is
if you're, I don't know, first of all, this is the only slasher series that's completely directed by women, every single one in this series.
Really? Oh.
So that's rad. So I kind of get where they're coming from as far as like just going into that pitch and being like, it's Slumber Party Massacre 2. And they're like, okay, yeah, here's your money. And you're just like, all right, now we have to figure out what the fuck this movie is, guys.
Yeah. And not to be confused with, Sorority House Massacre, Slumber Party Massacre 2001. It's Cheerleader Massacre, Pillow Party Massacre, like the massacre, I don't know, genre.
I think I've seen Sorority Massacre. I think I saw that one.
I've seen Sorority Massacre, and I've seen the remake of Sorority Massacre. That's the one where I forgot, like they accidentally kill.
They accidentally kill one of their friends, right?
Yeah. They accidentally, and then like I think a few, like,
it's almost
later,
like I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of thing.
There's a lot of massacres. Great name for a horror movie.
A lot.
Yeah,
Massacre is a great. Yeah. It is. It really just delivers. The Massacre.
So Crystal Bernard was best known for her role in the TV sitcom Wings, and she will be referred to Wings from here on out. And Atanis Illich, the Driller Killer, is of spitting image of like, or carbon copy, or I guess John Baratheon is a carbon copy to him of each other. They're carbon copies of each other. It's real.
They are. And John is an attractive man, so yeah. I'm here for it. Like, I remember him in all sorts of things. I guess specifically The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Besides like the the Punisher. Wasn't he the Punisher for like a hot second?
He might come back as the Punisher too. Yeah.
Okay, that would be dope. He's a good Punisher.
And like I think now he's most known for having this podcast where he talks about just being a man, what a man do, you know.
Is he cool?
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the man.
You can't take a nap apparently. It's like,
that's not manly to nap.
It's not manly. No, it shows weakness. It's money making time apparently. So
he's one of them. It's like a Wahlberg type of guy where he's like, I wake up at 9 p.m. to go to the gym. You're like, what?
Because I already slept by 8 hours from 1
p.m.
Like, to 8. I already slept. Yeah. What are you guys doing? I start. All right, so we're gonna play it on in the background. And fun fact about Atanis, which is a great first name. I've never met another Atanis ever. Atlas, maybe, but
I've met a few Atlases.
Yeah,
but not Atanis.
Which is super interesting. He is the son of Mike Ilitch, who is the founder and entrepreneur of Little Caesars Pizza Hut restaurants. Oh,
that's cool.
So technically, Atanis is Little Caesar or Prince Little Caesar.
Technically, this man is Little Caesar. And where is the pizza?
And his family owns the Detroit Lions or Tigers. They own a couple sports teams.
So they got money.
Atanis comes from money.
Atanis, with a name like that, he's money. He's got that generational wealth, baby.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure. Like, man, I would have loved to see more movies with the Driller Killer. Like, you just kept coming back.
Me too. Let's call him.
They own the Red Wings, the Detroit Red Wings, and I think they own the Detroit Tigers, if I remember correctly.
Dang.
Yeah. So Atanis doesn't have any really work, and he had a small career as a musician because why not?
Yeah, when Daddy got all the money, go for it.
Yeah, and we have a couple of. You could find his vinyls on eBay, and one of them is called Sugar Summer.
Maybe like taking Harry Styles for his money.
Oh, I feel man. Like who copied
that Watermelon Sugar song?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably nothing like it, but that's the first thing I thought of.
With songs like Shadows, Dark Night, Tina, Escape, Crazy in the Dark, Let's Live Together, Talk to Me Like the Rain.
Wait, Talk to Me Like the Rain?
Yeah.
I bet that's the romantic one. I bet that's a really like sensitive one.
You know what? These cover he's holding a cat on the back cover, so you know he's sensitive.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to find these, and they're going on the Instagram, TikTok.
And of course, the title track, Sugar Summer, not even Summer Sugar, but Sugar Summer.
Sugar Summer.
And Shoot the Guns and The Burgman Affair, which is a hell of a title for a song.
The Burgman Affair? That got you. The Burgman Affair? Are you fucking kidding me? What is that song?
Yeah, I write songs like Sugar Summer and The Burgman Affair.
What is it?
I will find it. Oh my god, we will find it.
The Burgman Affair. It better be scandalous as
you know what? Fuck. Because if he's mad, I'm just saying, Atanis is just a little funny. You gave a great performance. We love you in this fucking movie.
We do. No hate. We love you.
So like,
I in fact think that I was like, I just fell in love with this man. 2 seconds.
So the fact is, like, I'm sure you're talented. I'm sure these songs are great.
Sure. If you're listening to us, call.
Yeah, I'm sure he has to do. I mean, like, he doesn't need the money, but I'm sure he like goes to like. I mean, it would be fun if he goes to like horror conventions and things like that.
We can get a cameo from him. I wonder if he's on Cameo. Is that what that thing is called?
Yeah, Cameo. Yeah.
Could remember. He probably isn't. I don't know. Those are all for like D-list celebrities, I feel like. Or not. I don't know.
Money. We noticed that Thomas doesn't need money. He has Little Caesars money. Like, he's
got Little Caesars money. And what, Detroit Red Wing money? Detroit Lion money?
Yeah, to buy them.
He's fine.
He owns his family owns
them. Yeah.
Owns them. Your family owns 2 city nationals sport teams.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's fucking money.
That is like the most money you can get in this country, I feel like, besides Amazon.
Because like, well, what do I do now? Well, I guess I'll buy a sports team.
That's literally it. Like, I'm bored. I'm gonna buy a sports team. We're like, oh, okay.
So needless to say, his music career didn't pick up, or his acting career.
Bummer.
But maybe,
Bummer.
Maybe the empire that was Little Caesars really needed him, and he just called it quits. I didn't look into much of a Thomas after this.
I'm upset that during Halloween time they don't have like a Driller Killer special.
Oh no!
I'm gonna write an email.
That'd actually be pretty. It'd be so good if you reprised a role for the commercials, for the marketing.
For the commercials,
so much.
Just during
pizza.
Halloween time. Just during Halloween time, I would only eat Little Caesars pizza if that were the case.
Fun fact: he was the first person to audition for the Driller Killer, but Deborah.
And he's so fucking
but
he
Deborah
got
was
it.
like, I can't pick him because he's the first guy.
Oh,
so
but you have to.
Yeah, but he was the best choice apparently, and clear.
I love that she was like, we can't. We have to see the others. Like, it's only fair, and she's right. That's fair. You should see many people, but I like that they chose him anyway.
Yeah. And they were, the only issue was that they were sort of conflicted that he was a little short for the role, because they want a Jason-esque character, I'm assuming, where they wanted something like somebody big, brawling, and sort of intimidating.
Yeah, like 6'2", perhaps.
Yeah. So he, needless to say, he's a little bit under 6 feet or something like that, maybe like 5'10" or whatever. But they were like, "Oh, fuck it, we'll just fix it in post, like we'll just make the camera angles make him look taller," which I'm like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Him being
magic.
Normal size had nothing to do with his performance. He's still fucking killed
Correct.
it.
I didn't even notice that he was like not big. I guess it didn't even occur to me. I was way just too into him. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, us short kings know that, if you're not bringing height to the table, you got to be mad charismatic. So then
I love short kings. I really do.
So we are starting off the movie with a nice little montage, a little dream sequence of
a little soft core.
Yeah.
A little.
This didn't have a whole lot of female nudity like some of the
just some boobs.
Some of our kind of more exploitive B movies. A lot of the girls weren't comfortable with getting naked on this movie, except for one of the ladies, and I think Kim MacArthur was actually a Playboy playmate who was actually trying to distance herself from nudity and was trying to focus on her acting career. So good for her.
Hell yeah, we support that.
Yeah, we didn't need it. And then the one time that we do get a little female nudity,
it's just the sleepover part, and we'll get there. But that is like a standard what you think happens at a girl sleepover, and they make that joke.
I assume that's exactly what happens at every girl. I'm just assuming that's what happens when 2 girls just get together and no men are looking.
No. Like, not in my experience, but you know what? That's okay.
Okay.
I won't. I definitely did have a really crazy sleepover in high school where we did where there was no tops on, but we were drunk. And so I guess there is some truth to that. Like, I guess girls will do that. But it was funny because I remember one of my friends being like, I'm not drunk enough for this. She laughed. She was like, why is everyone's tits out? So
we have wings here. Courtney. Oh, fun fact. Our main character's name is Courtney. So that's not going to be confusing at all for the podcast.
That's okay. We finally have a Courtney.
We finally got a Courtney. We had an Edgar in Disturbing Behavior. We got a Courtney in this one. So she's having some weird dreams of previous events that might have happened of previously on Slumber Party Massacre 1, basically. And a little post-traumatic stress. Fair enough. You know, she lived through a traumatic experience. You know, she still can't shake it. And I'm surprised, like, that she's trying to shake it at all. She's like, why am I still having nightmares? I don't know. You were almost murdered by a guy with a drill. Like,
yeah,
you know?
Honey, healing isn't linear. Just because it's been 5 years doesn't mean that you should just be over it.
Yeah, fair. 100%. At the end of the montage, we get a great title sequence as like to foreshadow what this movie might be. Because, like I said, this movie almost non-linear in itself.
Oh, I was just gonna say Courtney's sister Valerie from the first one, just because we have that little bit of plot there, right? Is in a mental hospital, so
a little through line.
There's that. Yeah,
Courtney's dealing with apparently she's been dealing with these nightmares for a while and looks great, even though she's not getting any sleep. And I think that's a little bit more of what they were trying to get from that whole Nightmare on Elm Street too, where that she also isn't sleeping, and this is affecting like her rest.
True,
and
because if you don't get proper sleep, it does start to affect you.
Oh,
very
100%.
like that. Yeah, like it's truly very, very bad for your health.
Yeah. So Courtney's off to school. We're getting one of the many, many small musical numbers in this movie with Tokyo Driver, I believe the name of the song is. And we're introduced to our first friend, Amy, who's picking up from school in a completely different car than she's going to pick her up later. So I don't know how many cars Amy's have.
Amy's parents are rich.
Yeah. Oh, and we also hear that Sheila's dad has a condo. So, but nothing explicitly says that they're super rich or anything like that.
No. Yeah, just like we want to go stay at the condo. Yeah. No.
Yeah, upper middle class maybe. I don't know. So yeah. So we get a little bit of a hint that Courtney likes this guy named Matt, as Matt is a 30-year-old man playing 17, as we do on this podcast, with a receding hairline Matt and a great tan.
A great tan, a great smile. He is a Lowe after all. He's Patrick Lowe. Patrick Lowe. So I'm assuming he's related to Rob Lowe in some way.
Oh,
I did no research, though. I did zero research. I could be wrong. I just looked at him and I was like, oh, I can see him being related to Rob Lowe. Like, he has that look.
Well, now on the IMDb page, his photo didn't come up, so I kind of just like missed it. Could be.
I'm just saying he looks like he could be related to Rob Lowe, so that's the only reason why when I saw his name Patrick Lowe, I just made the connection. But again, I did not look it up.
And Mishi has something to say about him. Okay.
And Mishi's also like, yeah, that guy.
No, not related.
No? Well, luck of the draw. He is just a pretty man.
Yeah,
good smile,
Rob Lowe
good tan.
Has 3 siblings. None of them are a Patrick.
All right, well, maybe he's a cousin. I don't know. He's just
possibly
a very, very like standard looking, attractive man. But you're correct. He's like 30.
Yeah, you could see it though. Like you could totally like now that you mention it, I'm like maybe. Yeah. So we cut to our garage where the knockoff Bangles.
Girl rock band.
Yeah, girl rock band.
You say the Bangles, I say knockoff Go-Go's.
Oh, okay. These songs are performed by a band called Weekend Wednesday.
Weekend Wednesday? Okay.
And the songs are actually pretty good. Like,
yeah. They rock.
Yeah.
I like it.
No issue.
They got a look.
Yeah, Wednesday.
I'm here for it. I like the girl on the drums.
Yeah.
I like the girl on the drums, their pink fucking bow and the whole pink outfit. I like it.
We know it's a fantasy because what are the chances that all your best friends all play the perfect positions in a girl rock band?
I tried to have a rock band when I was a teenager and it was nothing like this.
Oh, yeah,
Did not go over well.
Yeah, I remember that same friend who bummed on my couch every week. Wanted to be the singer, and I'm like, okay, man, what are you bringing to the table? Like, you need to be a little bit more than the singer. Everybody wants to be the singer. Yeah,
everyone wants to be the singer. You can't.
You can't
what
be the
else
singer,
can you
Mike.
do?
Yeah.
Mike, you can't.
And not an issue here with the girl band. proceed. And then we got Matt, coming in, and I like how it's kind of a reverse role as opposed to, the guy being in the band. And
I love it. I like that he goes to see her band play, and he's like, "You girls rock!" Like, he's a nice guy. I have no issues with Matt.
No issues. Then Courtney wings here, and Rob Lowe's cousin get together and go for a little smooch fest, and then Patrick gets invited to the Desert Springs weekend getaway because the girls, they need to get away for the weekend so they can practice for the big dance, right? Because these girls got it.
I believe they do, and I believe they do need to practice.
they don't have any need to practice. Yeah. I mean,
no, that's why they have to go to this condo for the weekend to practice. That's the whole thing.
I mean, also, like, you're practicing now. Like, you're practicing as we speak. So,
you have a garage that you can practice in. I think it's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, unless you're annoying the neighbors and like, fuck. I mean, I would see how that guy would get annoying. Like, one of my neighbors would get upset if we played music too loud. But or if you practice too loud. But yeah. All right, and you might notice that there's a lot of these head-on shots in this movie.
Yes, there are.
I'm like,
they're almost breaking the fourth wall in a way. I'm like, are we looking right into the camera?
I didn't notice it too much because they happen in small segments. Like, you're not having like a whole monologue in this one position.
Right.
But you are saying that it's a lot from Courtney's perspective, and it might make it a little bit surreal. Something that they did purposefully for this movie, obviously. So then we cut to dinner with Mrs. Bates. No horror pun intended, of course. And Courtney, as they're having the worst meatloaf I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh, it looks like dog food. Wet, cold dog food.
And then Courtney's just trying to get her mom to let her go to Desert Springs for the weekend so the girls can practice for the big dance, like we said. But her mom is basically saying that, well, we made an appointment to go see your sister because, as we know, your sister survived a horrific experience, and we should probably visit your sister more often. And you know what? I kind of agree a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I agree. I understand why the mom is also like, I don't really want you to go away this weekend because she's already has a daughter in a mental hospital, and you should be visiting her more often. You should be you should really be supporting this woman. Yeah, you should be visiting your sister a lot, like once a week at least. But yeah, I can also understand like Courtney's point of view being like, Mom, it's my birthday. I want to go hang out with my friends. Yeah. So I get that too. Mrs. Bates forgot it was Courtney's birthday because she's got a lot of her mind, which kind of sucks. And also the mom can go to the mental hospital alone. Like, just let Courtney go have the weekend. Fine. Understandable. Completely. And the mom forgetting that it's Courtney's birthday is just the get out of jail card Courtney needs to let her go on this weekend. Of course, Courtney's lying, saying that Sheila's parents are going to be there. Correct. And Sheila's parents are super strict. Yeah, like because we need our kids to be unsupervised for this horror movie for things to proceed. Obviously. Did you ever have milk like for dinner with your meal? Yes, all the time. Did you? All the time. Is that why you grew so big and strong? Jeez. It is. Is that how you got so tall and strong? Like, is that how you got so tall and strong? I didn't know. We never got milk with our... You guys did it? Is that a thing? Maybe it's a Midwest thing, or I don't know if it's like an all-American thing, but maybe definitely more Midwest. But yeah, we had milk at dinner time, and you finish your glass of milk. So Mrs. Bates gives Courtney the go-ahead, and then we get our second nightmare scene where Courtney is seeing Valerie now, intercut with glimpses of Atanis for the first time. You get his boots, and you get like Courtney making out with Matt. Yeah, it all starts out the same. All of her dreams start out the same, where it's just fucking Matt in these short shorts just running around. Is that like just getting real horned up in her dreams? I don't know. They did that a lot. I feel like that was always in a lot of movies. It was like hot guy, little shorts with a football. That was like peak sexy. And
It's funny because it's sort of like intercut with like stuff that happened in the last movie, but it's also foreshadowing what's going to happen in this movie. So like, is Courtney having a premonition she's just not really aware of? The PTSD sort of made her a little bit psychic and she can't rest. It's basically really fucking up her shit. And I think in this second time, she actually has it twice where she just gets fed up and just starts breaking down, as you would. Like, if I was having nightmares every night of some fucking horrific fucking shit, like, it might fuck me up too. Yeah, this time it's more of, the second time around, it's more of Valerie sort of warning her that he's coming.
Yeah, and also like telling her not to have sex too.
Well,
she's like,
because you can have sex.
Remember, she's like, don't you go all the way.
Yeah, this is the heyday.
Don't do it. Yeah.
This is the heyday. This
abstinence is the only way.
Which I'm like, did you need that for the movie? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Because he still tries to kill her anyway.
Regardless of whether or not she was a virgin.
Yeah. So we get glimpses of Valerie in like one of the worst mental hospitals ever. Fucking pee stains on the mattress. Like, it looks rough. Like, Valerie, not the best facility for you, honey. Sweetheart. No. You need to get out of there.
I feel bad for her. Not only is she traumatized from that horrific experience, she's in a nasty ass mental institution.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, like I said, Courtney haunted by these fucking dreams. So then we move on to the next day where her mom says she looks a little tired, but she's fine. She just wants to go to Desert Springs for the weekend. And see, this is where we see Amy in a different car altogether. This is
maybe this is just like the road trip car. Like station wagon.
I like how they made
Oldsmobile.
Yeah, exactly. They had to make it look like they were for sure going on a road trip, like to practice, because they have all their fucking gear in the car.
The gear on top of it. It's like, okay, guys. I feel like that could probably have fit in the station wagon, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's what's their hi-fi or their half stacks or whatever the fuck they call their speakers. So we get a little bit more exposition time with the girls. We get a little bit clear motivations on, which one is Sally, which is a drummer, and then Sheila, which is the lead singer, and Amy, which is, I guess, the lead guitarist, who's also driving. And I mean, they also feel like the same person to some degree. Like they're not really
all very
that
similar looking.
Yeah, they're not that much different personality. The only thing is that
they're all bubbly girls. I was just saying they're all really just like bubbly, cute girls. Like they're not really distinguishable.
Other than like, we found out that the drummer is the lyricist. I guess she writes all the songs, and then Sheila's the most horned up. Yeah,
because Sheila's the one that we're getting to, like, is the one having sex with TJ, right? Because there's that whole bit of like her having sex a lot.
A fair amount. Courtney just looks out of it because, you know what? As we see, she's been haunted by the traumatic events of part 1 because she barely survived her life. And it seems like she's just like daydreaming too. Like, as far as like, she
dissociates.
Yeah. She just has no idea if she's actually awake or asleep right now.
But like, you get just like this one here when they're in the car and like you see more of Atanas like in his fucking drill guitar thing, like dancing. I love it so much.
Yeah. No notes on Atanas, basically.
No notes.
Yeah.
Notes. Just sexy.
Courtney's having visions of Valerie being murdered. And I want to think that, like, yes, like this was a sort of like a deal where like the killer is getting closer and closer, and like little by little. And then as her dreams intensify, he's approaching, right? And then he starts off with killing the person that survived the last movie. So I want to think that Valerie is actually dead.
Okay. I like that.
I want to think that like everybody's dead. I want to think that like Driller Killer went after her mom, and then I just you needed a little bit more.
I agree.
The ladies eventually make it to Desert Springs condo resort and casino. It's not a casino, but whatever. They realize that they are the only ones in the neighborhood as it's still under construction, and they are staying at Sheila's dad's condo, which is in all of its 80s glam, perfect with its pastel colors and really
white
kitschy
furniture.
Oh, well, yeah, peach white furniture and kitschy 80s art.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that painting that's in the living room. It's like, ay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I forgot what that was always really cheesy 80s paintings of women with like kind of like crew cuts.
Yeah.
They have a few of those, but like they're like knockoff versions. So I'm just like,
it's true.
Yeah. So the girls kind of settle in. They find a rubber doll. They find out that Sheila's brother is also a horn dog, and I don't know. They really just gotta, run it home with Sheila's family just being a bunch of perverts, I guess.
Yeah, like obviously the parents don't care what their kids are doing. The kids are just hornballs, and then they're breaking into the booze cupboard immediately, as you do.
Oh yeah, 100%. Not parents aren't around. Yeah, we're getting some booze.
Hell yeah, and it's like the fancy stuff because it's like champagne, which barf. Ew. Have you ever been drunk on champagne? It's the worst. It's the worst hangover. It's
I was gonna
disgusting.
Say like that's a little rough if you're just gonna be like,
you're only just drinking champagne. Oh no, thank you. I'm gonna have a headache before.
I mean, was like that the fantasy? Like, oh yeah, I don't know.
I think that's a fantasy of like it's rich. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, we had a weekend and we just got so drunk on champagne, like this rich, lavish thing. And I'm like, that sounds like it sucks.
I mean, this looks like it's champagne left over from the wedding, so it's it's like $6 a bottle, because they each girl has like their own bottle of champagne, basically. Yeah. And they're picking out. I love it. Corn dogs and champain. That
corn dogs, squeezy cheese out of the can.
Oh, I was we were not a squeezy cheese family.
You didn't get it?
It doesn't make sense. Like, why?
It's not cheese. It's not real. It's not real food.
Exactly.
I don't even know if they sell it anymore. I don't think we ever had it like in our house. Like it wasn't a thing my mom bought, but I definitely had tried it.
Yeah. No, I think it's still a thing. I think it's just like
I haven't seen it in ages, so I don't know. I'm not looking for it.
Hey, we're not looking for it, exactly. Oh, we forgot to say that movies produced by Roger Corman, the King of Cult, I believe he was called. Yeah, Roger Corman produced so many movies. Dude, the list goes on. So this was just one of many. And then Sheila, being the horny one of the bunch, decides to get naked and spray all the girls with champagne, and I'm like, that's just a mess. You're gonna have to clean that up later.
Sticky mess.
Yeah.
Yep. Gross.
Rough. And then a pillow fight ensues, and like I said, this is what I assume all girls do when they get together: is they have pillow fights and spray each other with champagne. Mm-hmm. And
I just love that she went there with that. The director, she was like, yeah, we're going right on the nose. This is what girls do at sleepovers.
Or like, is that what they were like? This is what happens in a horror movie.
That too. I think it's a little bit of both. Like, again, I've never had a pillow fight like that, but
I've never opened up the pillow to like spray feathers everywhere, and I'm like, because that's more.
I've definitely hit my friends with a pillow, but that shit does hurt, especially if you ever like, hey, fuck you, and you like, throw a pillow at your friend.
Oh yeah, you can get a lot of injuries can be had, 100%.
Yeah.
And then we got the boys who approach the condo, Jeff and TJ being our knockoff Keanu Reeves, and Jeff being our dime store Ken doll.
Yep.
And what really horrifies me is that the feathers got all over all the food, and I'm just like, and they shoot it too, where I'm just like, food's ruined.
Food no more squeezy cheese. And you're so right about this being like such a mess, where I would be like, this isn't fun anymore, guys.
No, this is. I would have loved it if Sheila was like, "No, this is my dad's house. He's gonna fucking kill me."
Yeah, like we are sticky, covered in champagne and feathers. Like, is there even a vacuum in here?
Exactly. Like, he just bought this house. There's fucking champagne stains everywhere now. This is fucking carpet.
Yeah, guys, the carpet. Jesus Christ.
Oh my, no. Growing up with carpet, like, no, everything. Yeah. No. Everything that falls on the carpet's going to stay on that carpet. You have to live looking at that stain because you didn't want to tell your parents that you spilled something, because that just means you're in worse trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, because you definitely weren't supposed to be in the living room eating. And you were.
We're supposed to be eating like carpet. Yeah. So we get a nice little jump scare as Jeff and TJ assault poor Sheila and fake that Jeff got stabbed, basically telling the girls they should really watch their backs because, don't you know that it's unsafe to leave the back door unlocked.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
I mean, they're dicks, but, whatever.
Oh, yeah. TJ's a huge dick. And TJ's with the thickest Southern California accent I've ever heard in a movie.
Yeah, he lays it on thick.
Yeah. So the point is are you acting, bro?
Like, wait, what? But honestly, when you run into them in the wild, it is going to look so surprising. You're like, oh my God, you actually do talk like that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I've never heard it until I moved down here and I was just like, oh.
Yeah. You hear every once in a while, you're like, oh. And then you're like, are you stupid? And you're like, no, wait, they're not. Like, that's just how they talk.
It's just the accent.
It's just the accent. But for real, I honestly thought, I was like, wait, is this person like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah. So we find out that TJ's Sheila's boyfriend, and then they proceed to have loud sex, what seems like all night,
Yeah. It's a lot. And the girls make a joke about it too in the bed. Like, she's like, oh, like, are they like this all the time? And they're like, oh yeah. Like, it just keeps going and going and going. And I'm like, I guess, well, when you are 17, it is like that, I guess. But they are going all night. And that, ouch. That's all I'm going to say. Ouch.
So then we have Courtney's fourth nightmare, technically, because the second night she had two nightmares. And she's dreaming of Matt this time, in her bed, and she rolls over to kiss him and then switches out to be our driller killer. And then we find Valerie on the floor slain, and this is the first time we hear the driller killer actually talk to us, the audience, or Courtney, and just says I'm tired of Valerie. I've had Valerie. Just want to make love to you, and
I don't know why she's so scared of him. I would have been like, absolutely.
It's a dream, right? It's a fantasy. Not hurting anybody.
If he woke up in my bed, I'd be like, yep.
It would have been fun. Yeah, that would have been.
Like, so sorry. Are you a hot rockabilly murderer? Love it.
I mean, I guess the traumatizing part would have been seeing your sister murdered next to you.
Yeah,
and then
that's not okay. Yeah.
It really stifles the eroticism a little bit.
You're right.
So then we find out Courtney slept on the kitchen floor because she just needed to run away. So you're kind of seeing that things are kind of playing out in reality a little bit, because you don't know if she's sleepwalking or not, or if Atanas was actually there. Excuse me, the driller killer.
The driller killer, but I actually do like the consistency of the nightmares. The fact that we're seeing more of them. You're getting more of Atanas or driller killer. I do dig that. It's a good amp up.
Yeah, you could do this again and keep the same themes and just ramp it up a little bit more, where it's you got a little bit more of Atanas. You could give him a fucking car, right? Where he's just driving down the road and he just gets closer and closer, right? He could have visited Valerie. He could have visited her mom, just a little bit more, just ramping it up till he finally makes it to Desert Springs, right?
Yeah.
Give him a real good intro.
You dreamt him to reality.
Yeah, which is another thing altogether, which is another way you could have gone with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Courtney all along. Yeah,
that's another way you could have swung it too. She was murdering and she thought it was the driller killer. Real quick with this pool scene, it's not a whole lot going on. I just wanted to see if you caught this when they talk about drinking juice. Hey, hand me a juice. That is a motherfucking candle. It's a candle.
It looks like a candle. I thought they were candles too.
It's a candle. It's not even juice. It's just a candle.
From one thing that I learned about Roger Corman is that he liked to recycle things. So like these are sets from something else. I'm sure all these props are from something else too. Yeah, they look like Virgin Mary candles. Like it's pretty funny.
The Saint candles. I'm like, that's so fucking funny. You're just like, hand me the juice. And you just handle a fucking candle.
So here's where we kind of get like the pool scenes where we kind of figure out like TJ is kind of a fucking prick.
Oh yeah, he's a huge prick.
Yeah. Like his jokes aren't funny. He's I don't know. He's a little aggressive. He has like no tact. Like there's like several things. Like Sheila,
truly don't understand what Sheila sees in him. He's not even that cute, but you know, I've made mistakes too, Sheila. It's okay.
Like I'm sure Matt had better friends.
Yes. Because Matt seems like an okay kind of guy. So the fact that he's hanging out with these two, I'm like,
So TJ decides to fix Courtney's headache by throwing her into the pool and kind of expelling it like an exorcism, which it was kind of funny. But then Courtney almost drowns as she kind of blacks out in the process and doesn't get out of the pool. And then she has sort of another vision. So this is our fifth vision, which I feel like movies do this more nowadays where like indie movies, they do kind of play this up. So this is kind of like a little bit before its time where they throw in like these really eerie sequences and these dream sequences in the middle of a scene, you know? So like maybe this is why this movie kind of works a little bit, you know, like you could have sort of seen that like in like a movie like Infinity Pool, right? Where it kind of goes off the rails for a little bit. Right.
And I think that's why I mentioned, like, I really enjoy the fact that they do it so often. Like, kind of reminds you that, like, she is sort of losing it. Like, she's not sleeping it. She's losing it. And there's, like, a random... I enjoy it.
Yeah, random visions. Yeah. And there's also the thing where anytime you go on a trip, you might have, like, that one friend that kind of makes it about themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So her friends are being pretty understanding. But at one point, you're going to be like, fuck, dude, Courtney needs to get it together because, like, we're trying to be out here, have a good time.
That is true. There is truth to that, where you're like, you want to be supportive because you understand this is your friend that has PTSD, like, survived this, like, massacre from a few years ago. Like, I think you would be a little bit like, hey, guys, like, give Courtney a break. Yeah. But after a while, you'd be like, Courtney, all right now. Like, do you actually need to go home?
Yeah. And her friends do ask her, like, hey, do you want to go home? Because you could totally go home. And
exactly.
I think the only friend that knows that she's gone through something is Amy. Her other friends have no idea that she went through something traumatic because they asked her earlier, what college did her sister go to? And she just...
Oh, you're right.
She makes up something, say she went to Humboldt College, right? And she looks at Amy and they kind of have like a knowing glance at each other.
Yeah. No, you're correct. So the majority of them don't know this, the trauma.
And then at this point is where, again, ramping it up a little bit more, where Courtney, Wings here, is starting to have visions during the daytime. So no longer does she need to be asleep. She sees a chopped up hand inside of a burger, freaks the fuck out, and then her friends are just like, Courtney's kind of fucking losing it, you know, a little bit. We have our fifth musical number after this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Props to them. They are actually practicing on their weekend away. Yeah, like they are.
No, there are. You kind of need to. They weren't talking shit. That
they weren't lying. Like they're like, yeah. You know, we're going away for the weekend, but we are gonna practice.
Also, that's a lot more equipment that they had in the car. I'm just saying.
It sure is.
They didn't have that many speakers. Whatever.
I was like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
And it actually looks like they know how to play some of their instruments, like.
Yeah,
Amy?
no, I have like no notes. Like they legit look like a band.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Crystal Bernard is a musician, so yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, she looks like she's got the guitar down. Good for them. We love it. And I also like that the guys are sitting there cheering them on. I do enjoy that. I was like, hell yeah, we're all just hanging out, jamming, like.
And then we just get like a montage of them just having a good time, you know, and then fucking TJ acting like a fucking spaz and apparently he dances like he fucking talks sporadically. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. We have a lot of notes for TJ. Knock it off, dude.
The weirdest thing is the longing looks of the montage is intercut with Courtney holding a photo of Matt, just like kissing it. I'm like, all right.
Yes. I know. I'm like,
he's on his way. He'll be there.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, Courtney, he'll be there soon, and then you could actually kiss him. Like, relax.
I would be more weirded out if I see my friend kissing a photo of a dude than her having visions of a chopped up hand and a burger. I'm like, chopped up hand and a burger makes sense. You.
Yeah, I mean, like, yo, that makes sense. But why are you making out that picture of Matt? Like, I'm concerned.
Like, he looks like a low, but like, you don't need to make out like with a photo. That's just weird.
He definitely looks like he's related to Rob Lowe, but relax.
Yeah. She's honest with her friends, like through and through.
She is.
And then she's just like, I keep having these fucking dreams. Something's fucking weird. And then you're like, you just hung over, Courtney. You had a lot of French champagne. You know what? You actually drank like we drank like an entire case last night. And it looks like it. They drank like a half a case.
Yeah.
That's a lot of champagne between 4 people.
It is. And you would be hungover.
You would feel like
for
shit.
Real. You would feel like shit.
17, 18, you know you're not hydrating after that. Like, fuck. No.
They're only drinking Diet Pepsi and Sprite in this entire movie, and candles. Candles.
Yeah, this was before the water movement. Like,
yes.
Nobody's hydrating in 1987.
No.
Yeah. And you know what? They give Courtney the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, they could have played it up where they were like, fuck, we're tired of Courtney's shit. She needs to go home. She needs to shut the fuck up, get some fucking sleep. But no, they always give her the benefit of the doubt.
And which is great. And Courtney actually in that scene, she's like, you know what, you guys, you're right. Like, I should probably just go like lie down and relax. Yeah. Like, even she's like, I'm getting a little worked up over this.
Yeah, but she decides to go take a bath. She intercut with some more of Sheila and TJ making whoopee. And this is, I feel like, was supposed to be like a scene from Nightmare on Elm Street too, where
it looks exactly like right out of Nightmare on Elm Street with her in the tub.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ramps up. As soon as she's in the show, just blood everywhere. And yeah, that would freak me the fuck out too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this could have been like a whole thing for like mental illness and just being like, and post-traumatic stress, where like anytime she's alone, she's just having visions.
Visions of a hot man with a guitar.
Yeah, when she runs out of the shower, like blood just starts pouring out from underneath the door, which I was like, oh yeah, that would have kind of freaked me the fuck out.
It looks so cool on her feet, and it's gross.
No. So this is like one vision just leads to another. She goes gets Sally, our drummer, who's writing her next big hit, Pie in the Sky, whatever the fuck, and like
Sugar Summer.
Sally starts talking about this pimple on her face, and just be like, I'm having a horrible weekend too, and then. Like I said, these visions just go on into each other or bleed into each other, where all of a sudden she starts seeing visions of Sally is a pimple just exploding on her face, which I loved. I
was going to say, this is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie, is showing her grotesque pimple on her face. Like each cut getting worse and worse.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
It is great practical horror.
I like how she coughed. She's like, if a pimple exploded on your face, you would have
the pus.
You would have a gut reaction.
You would just like Courtney does. She starts to vomit, and I was like, I would too. That pus coming out of their face.
Oof. So she runs down the stairs and into the strong arms of Patrick Lowe, our boyfriend, who is Matt.
Yeah. And then she tells Matt, she goes, Sally's dead. Like, she is convinced that pimple just killed Sally.
Well, they're looking for anything weird or suspicious. They're in the bathroom. The boys are telling Matt that, like, your girl's kind of like a little bit messed up, man. Like, we haven't given her shit. They drank a lot of champagne last night, and she's been having weird episodes all day. And then I think this is where they, like you said, this is where they can't find Sally. So then they decide to call the cops. And who shows up? Officer Kruger for some reason.
Like Officer Kruger and Officer Voorhees.
Oh, is that who it was? Like, yeah, if you really Hitting it over
So you
the
talk
head.
about like those little things like really hitting over the head. Like we have Officer Kruger and Officer Voorhees showing up to like make the call for them.
Yeah. And then of course you need the setup of like if the cops get called again, they're not showing up. What was it? Officer fucking Kruger was like, if I show up here again, I'm gonna fucking rip your lungs out. I'm like, all right, a little.
It's so intense. You're like, dude, I like was concerned for my friend. Like, why are you mad at me?
Yeah, we can't find our friend. Like,
chill out. Like, you're the reason why cops get a bad rap, dude.
yeah, and he was pretty intimidating. And they do have like this POV shot of from Courtney's perspective again. I'm just like, yeah. And I remember watching this movie. I rented this one up next to like Sleepaway Camp. Like I rented this one when I was in middle school, and I was just like, oh, like, and it didn't make any sense to me, you know, and I could see why it didn't make it.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Again, when you put it with the other two, it doesn't make any sense. There's like no rhyme or reason really to it, other than the little bit of the plot that you're going off. It was Valerie's sister Courtney. Like, other than that, like we never meet the driller killer ever again.
Yeah,
it's just this movie only.
Which is unfortunate. Sorry, I was watching Sally come back into the scene. So Sally shows up in the middle of the cops giving them a real
She's fine. She went to the store.
They were saying that what was it? Sally was just like, am I in trouble? It's like, no, but you did spend about $200 of taxpayer money. Is that what it costs for like a cop to come out to your house? What were you gonna do?
If that's crazy.
Yeah. In 1987? Fuck. What does it cost now?
1987? What is exactly? Get the numbers out. Get the calculator. We have to figure this out.
Yeah, calculate that for inflation. But also, like, what else were you doing? Like, your whole job is to go check on people. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just, like, your job is literally to be there to help people. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. And if it turns out to be nothing, then that's a good day, right?
Exactly. You're like, oh my God, there wasn't a murderer today. Thank God. Yeah. Everyone's safe.
Yeah, nobody got hurt.
But they're mad. They're like, how dare you call me to come here and you act like your friend's in the garbage disposal or whatever the fuck she comes up with.
That's
like,
what
that's
it was.
Not true.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. He's just like, oh,
the
so you
trash
think your friend,
compactor.
Yeah. You think your friend Sally's in the trash compactor, but you're not going to check. And the cops don't check
exactly.
either.
The cops don't go, because it's running, it's loud. So they're like, you know what? It's working right now. So we can't check it. But you think she's in there?
And all right, this is the point where like the friends are like, Courtney's making it all about her fucking self. We're fucking out of here. We're going to go have dinner. Maybe you guys should just, Matt's less like, yeah, we're going to stay here and have a night in. Which is fair.
I'm not mad at their friends for doing that. Yeah, I agreed. I was like, they did it really calmly. They were just like, hey, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go get dinner. And then Matt kind of takes over and is like, yeah, you're right. Like, we're just going to stay here. Like, I would have done the same.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
now that would have been played up where TJ would have been like blowing up his shit. Like now in a 2020 movie or 2000s movie, like Matt would have been like our not Matt, sorry. TJ would have been our fucking villain. We would have like loved him to get knocked off. We forget that it's fucking Courtney's birthday and she's having the worst day ever. And Matt comes in.
That's just true. I forgot.
Happy birthday,
Matt
Courtney.
Pulls like a 16 candles situation kind of thing with the birthday cake.
It's not bad. Yeah. He's just trying to be a sweet boyfriend. He's just trying to be.
Yeah, again, Matt's fine. He's not like a bad guy. However, like they do leave that birthday candle completely lit and then like start having sex. So I was like, fire hazard. Fire hazard.
I missed it. Oh, see, that's my job. Good call.
Like they just kind of push it off to the side. Like they're like cutting it and it's still lit. And I'm like, you guys, let's blow out the candles.
Yeah. So we realize the gang comes back home, but it's weird though. TJ comes home with his arms wrapped around Sally and not Sheila, which is just like, oh, okay, maybe they are boyfriend or girlfriend. You know?
Maybe.
So then the little makeout session is going upstairs with Courtney and Matt as they're getting real hot and heavy, and Courtney's just about to be like, I've never done this before, but she doesn't even get the words out because it goes from 0 to 100 all of a sudden, as the only thing getting penetrated is Matt's chest by the fucking driller killer, who's Ayo, which I'm like there's not even an intro, it's just full on. Like, she's getting visions of the driller killer, and then all of a sudden, Matt's just fucking screaming. And it's a great fucking little scene.
It's a great scene because the drill goes right through his chest. And that's like, and Matt's gone. No, that's it. Matt's gone. Matt's dead.
Oh, yeah. Exit stage right. Patrick Lowe. And then the driller killer's just sitting there all of a sudden. And she's like, you're a fucking dream. I've been having visions all day. He grabs his fucking arm, which is like, when was he fucking massacred like that? And
I know.
Throws it on the cake, which is great.
I also love that we're not sure if she's like, if it's real or not, because she's having all these visions. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, is Matt actually even dead? And then slowly as the scene goes on, I was like, wait, no, he's real. The killer's here, you guys. He's real.
Yeah. We get another scene where it's possibly a Courtney cry wolf, where she runs down the stairs and she's covered in blood, and the gang is a little freaked out, but you can see some of them are like, is this more of the same bullshit? And the driller killer just shows up right behind her, and he almost like impales her face with that thing, like that would have been an on-set accident.
Like, I have so many fucking questions. I'd be like, whoa, wait, how did this guy how did he get in the house? Wait, he's real? Like,
exactly. But so apparently this is a supernatural killer, which I'm like,
okay, sure.
He's the spirit of rock and roll. I don't know what the fuck. There's the
spirit of rock and roll has come to murder you.
No idea what the fuck this guy is. Like, it does not make any sense.
That's fine. No notes. He's still great.
Still great. Yeah. He talks in one-liners, much like a Freddy, right?
Yes.
But they're all rock related.
They're rock. Exactly. Say like they're all rock and roll related.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny. I love them. I want a poster. Someone made me a poster of the driller killer. Art.
Yeah, there's some good fan art of the driller killer. So,
I do.
So Sheila and TJ did the smart thing and ran out of the fucking house, and they are fucking out of there. I love it.
They're like, fuck this. Smart people in the horror movie.
Yeah. And TJ is really fucking playing it up. He's just like, he might have got his femoral artery fucking pierced. Well, actually, everybody runs out of the house. So they all did the smart thing here, except as when they make a wrong turn, they all head back to the house.
Ayo, wrong turn.
Yeah,
why'd you go back?
Yeah. Well,
oh, that's right. Our podcast.
So they're trying to like reconvene. They're trying to figure out what the fuck is this. The girl, Courtney's just like, I've been having dreams about this fucking guy all day. They're trying to make sense of it. And they're like, where are the fucking keys to the car? He's just like, I left them inside the fucking house, which I'm like, all right. So this gives them the reason why they have to go back, essentially, right? And the biggest faux pas, they get back to the house. They find out that Sally's been pierced through the chest. And for some reason, Jeff is just like I'm going to have a look outside the door.
Oh, yeah. No, but you're correct. He's just like, I got to check. I want to make sure, when there's literally like blood smeared across all of the cupboards. And he's like, Sally? Hey, Sally, got to like, I guess give him a little bit of props. He's going to try and check to see if Sally's still alive. But Sally is a goner.
Sally's a goner.
Sally's a goner.
Killer took out Sally and the phone at the same time, right?
Yes.
2 in 1. Jeff is checking outside to see if anybody's outside, right? And then at count of 3, we go, right? And then he's whispering 1, 2, and then he screams, go. I'm like, not being inconspicuous, like you're not being secretive at all. You're not being just like, if you didn't know where you were, he sure knows where you are now. Like,
yeah, like, yeah. Be so mad at him. Smack Jeff in the face. Big fucking hey, Jeff.
And then, like I said, the biggest faux pas ever, they get to Jeff's car, but what don't they do? They don't check the back seat, much like an urban legend. See our podcast for that one.
Yeah. They don't check the back seat.
And Driller Killer dedicates to the one he loves and just pierces Jeff, which I don't even think that's logistically possible because that guitar is huge.
The guitar's huge. I don't know how he fit it back there so inconspicuously. But I do love that he has a rose in his ear.
Yeah, he's classy.
He's classy.
Mhm.
He is
And,
rock and roll. He's sensitive.
I guess for like 40 minutes, it turns out like it's or 30 or about 30 minutes, like a 30-minute chase scene. It's fun, not bad. Everybody gets knocked out very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I enjoy that. It's smooth.
But we cut to TJ and Sheila as they are trying to make their getaway, and they almost make it. They find a neighbor, knock on the door, and then the driller killer just sneaks up behind them. One's twos Sheila in the face with the drill, but I think she only gets cut in the arm and then does away with our poor TJ, which I would have loved to see a little bit more of TJ.
Yeah, because TJ's our main like dick in this movie, so you always kind of want to see like that guy really get it. I do enjoy that Sheila does try to like save him the whole time.
Yeah, because I think
that.
Role reversal, role
reversal. I like it. It's usually always like the dude, like being like, I gotta save my girl, but she's like, no, I gotta save my man, even though he's an asshole. And the neighbor just opens the door and is like, what is going on here? Nothing.
Fucking kids.
Closes the door.
Yeah.
Fucking kids. Closes the door.
Yeah. So cuts to Courtney and Amy. I hope her name is Amy, because if I got it wrong this whole time, I would have fucking
Sally and Sheila are out of here, so yes.
And they find a phone. They barricaded themselves inside one of the bedrooms, so they're doing all the right things. And they call the cops. But like Kruger said, Officer Kruger, excuse me, he's just like, I'm not going to fucking deal with any more phone calls from you fucking meddling kids, so don't call me.
Yeah. Do not call the police if you need help. Never do it.
This is what movies taught us in the 80s, basically. Like,
they really did. It was like, don't call the cops. Like, yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. I thought they're supposed to help us.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Sheila's having the second worst day, because her arm's fucking gashed open by that fucking drill. And she just decides to make it back to the house, because where else is she going to go? TJ has, spun off this mortal coil, and she is in it by herself right now.
And she does have a really gnarly gash arm. That's a good look.
It looks great. I do like this whole like miscommunicated like scene over here where like Sheila makes it into the house. She finds Sally on the floor. She freaks out, but the girls are barricaded inside the room. They're like, "Do you hear something?" And it just turns out to be their friend. Like, they would have helped her if they had the chance, but they don't know if it's her, if it's the killer. So like it plays out pretty well. She makes it to the door, starts fiddling for the door, but she can't get inside because it's barricaded, and they think it's the killer. And then we get our 6th musical number.
And I also like how Atanas like looks right to camera and goes, "It's time for the fun part." And boy, is he right. He's correct. The coolest fucking thing in this movie. I love every second of this man dancing in the living room. Oh, no,
it's great. Like, a song called Let's Buzz by John Luke Logan, excuse me. And I'm like, a lot of these rockabilly songs.
I'm adding that to my playlist for my runs in the morning immediately.
Yeah, I want to say like he brought his own dance to this. Like I'm pretty sure like they didn't have to teach him. And he fucking moves.
No, he moves.
Like a half a jump, and like he kind of like half somersaults onto the floor and does a push-up. Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. Clearly not.
Yeah.
And then he's like on his freaking badass guitar drill that I also want.
We forgot to mention that it is a guitar drill, but it is the most ornate guitar drill we've ever seen, with a lot of like detail of like these random parts. Like basically if it was your guitar from hell.
Correct. It is Satan's guitar.
Yeah.
Because not only like is it a drill, but there's several, like you talked about being it so detailed, like you could murder anybody with that thing.
Random spikes.
It is Satan's guitar.
Yeah. Flourishes of like spikes and like red detail everywhere. Yeah.
And by the way, this whole scene of him and his musical number and dancing and like murdering the slumber party, it is the Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
And you forget that, yeah, he's murdering and he's our villain because he's so charismatic. You're rooting for him. At least I am.
Yeah. I'm like, the only thing is that just like I would have liked to see, like I said, we would have wanted to see more of Atanis, of the driller killer. We wanted to see a little bit more different kills with the guitar, maybe. But the guitar only really has one setting, and that's drill, baby, drill. Yeah.
Drill, baby, drill. It only drills.
So.
You are right, though. I guess I would have, like, because you know how we love creativity when it comes to death scenes and things like that in the movies. So it is a little flat in that this is the only way that he murders, but he makes up for it with his attitude. I guess that would be our only note, would be just like, we wanted to see a little bit more creativity with that one. But we get some great fucking lighting. As he pierces through the fucking door with his guitar drill, like, it's lit dark. We get some like rays of red and green on the girls, and it just looks fucking spectacular. You know, he's on the roof. Oh yeah. So this is when we find out, like, I mean, if you didn't know already, he's fucking supernatural. So anytime they turn a corner, Atanis is already there playing the fucking guitar, which is just like, and not even playing, like full on guitar solo, just railing, like he is having the time of his life. Yeah. Which is again why I would be like, I would go with him. This is like the problem. Like I would be like, you guys, this guy looks like he's having fun. I'm gonna go join whatever he's up to. Which would have been a great turn for the movie. Like one, you know, like a pact with the devil sort of a deal. Like, oh, you want to wreck a contract? Like, let's go, you know? Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? This looks fun. I'm going to do this now. Well, because he also talks about like making love, like, he's like, I'm going to make love to you, you know? Like it's like he wants a girlfriend, but it's just using that as a metaphor for like, I'm going to kill you, you know, essentially. Yeah, that's why I'm like, which is just bad behavior, and I know this, but that's why I'm like, no, thanks. I'll go with him. Bad behavior. Like you like, it's kind of just like you just realized you had a toxic trait, and you just like, man, dude, driller killer, you're kind of toxic, but you sure are sexy. Yeah. Does this say a lot about Courtney? The Courtney on this podcast, not the Courtney in the movie, but it's just my like toxic man. Me, Courtney. Yeah. No, this is like a prime example of like how I've been attracted to like the bad boy my entire life, where I'm like, oh, I know it's not a good thing. He might like, murder me, but he's not a husband. Time. He's not a partner. Yeah. But oh man, is he likable? So the chase scene ensues, and the one who's having the worst time right now is poor Amy, as she's getting little bits of her taken as the driller killer is around every corner. She gets slashed in the face, she gets slashed in the back, and she's like, I mean, if I was Amy, I'd be like, maybe I should go first, because you know nothing's happening to fucking poor Courtney over here. You know, I bet Courtney, let me go ahead of you. Let me lead, because you know what? I'm getting fucking tagged. My over back here every hurts. 2 seconds. Like that slash on her back looks gnarly in a good way. It looks really good. It's great because, you know, she's getting pieces taken out her left and right, but then just they make a step too far, and then Amy just falls off a half constructed house right over here. Yeah, so it's kind of a lame death for her, that she just falls to her death versus getting drilled. Yeah. So, and not a whole lot of blood after that. We get another song. Is this still Let's Buzz? I can't remember if this is it. No, I think it's a different song playing right now. Oh, not to mention that before it's the driller killer kills Sheila, it's a whole musical number. Like it is a full. Oh, we forgot. Did we bury it? Like we might have glazed over it a little bit because of how much we loved it, but it is a full on musical number. Okay, yes, maybe we did glaze over because we are in love with it, but yeah, he's singing. He has like all the moves. That's why I said, I was like, it's really giving Eddie in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, just shows up and he's like, all right, here we go, guys. Even though Rocky Horror Picture Show is a musical, this is also a musical, and I stand by it. And a pretty seamless to like jump from, you know, musical number to like movie without like stopping the momentum of the movie. And like I did read some reviews just like on IMDb, and I feel like that's people's like hot take where they didn't like this movie. Like that was like really, we're like, oh, this is such a bad horror movie. It's not even good. And I'm like, you've missed the point completely. Like, do you not have a fun bone in your body at all?
I think it's just because they expect too much. Like when a movie is initially released, they expect it to be, I don't know, really good, right? But when we appreciate it for what it is, like now looking back on it, what is this, like 33 years later, like this movie is great for what it is. This little rock and roll musical slasher number, like it's great.
Love it.
Because there's nothing like it, like other than Rocky Horror.
Truly, other than Rocky Horror, like there's nothing. But even in Rocky Horror, there's not too many like deaths. Like obviously, like this one, there's a couple deaths in that movie, but this one is just like back. Like we're getting a lot of blood. And I like here at the end with like Courtney running around this construction site of these houses and Driller Killer's like chasing her. And there's like this little moment where he's like, that's so nicely in the background. And he's almost like confessing his love for her. Like you said earlier, it was like, does he want a girlfriend? Like, what is he really up to? Is he like, is he here for murdering? Or is he like, I'm looking for my wife?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the Courtney in this movie, like I've already said, I'm probably just going to be like, you know what? I'm going with you. Let's do it.
Say,
I am.
If you were the Courtney, you say I do, you know?
I say I do. It's like in Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry. Oof. Like when she's like, I would never be married to you to Tim Curry, Devil Tim Curry.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'd never be married to you, da da da. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bitch, I would have been stoked. I'd have been like, hell yeah. I'm married to this guy. Here for it.
5'3" Tom Cruise, 7'8" Tim Curry without the horns.
Yeah. I'll take that. Fuck you, Tom Cruise, and your unicorns.
Tim Curry was the shit in that fucking movie.
Oh, he's amazing in that movie. He's like 8 feet tall in full makeup. It's crazy.
Fucking practical. Oh, so good.
Oh,
so
oops.
So Courtney finds a welding kit, lights our poor Rockabilly John Barathol on fire. Apparently that's how you undo a supernatural driller killer.
I guess.
Doesn't make any sense other than the fact that like Courtney looks like she also loses her shit in the process. But we also get no body from our driller killer. And
he's supernatural, so we know.
Yeah. Other than the fact that like they do uncover Amy's body, and as they go to check in on her, Amy wakes up and starts laughing in the driller killer's voice. So making us believe that this was also a dream as this goes on into another montage as Courtney wakes up again in her bed next to our knockoff Rob Lowe, and she turns over. Painting like one of the first dream sequences that she had.
Yeah, where she was like making out with Matt. But it's not Matt. It's Driller Killer.
As we see this fucking fingerless leather gloves grab
his
her head.
Leather little gloves. You're like, oh, we know who that is.
Yeah. And it's funny though, because it's a Driller Killer, but he's like recovering from the attack. So he's all burnt up.
Weird. He's a little burnt.
Yeah.
A little ashy.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of questions for Courtney. Like, there's no killer here, Courtney, but all your friends are dead.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. And then it just ends really nicely with her kind of again transitioning into being like she's in the mental hospital, and then the drill coming through the floor of the mental hospital. So,
all right,
I guess Courtney has the similar fate to her sister.
Yeah. Well, so with an interview with the director, turns out that is open to interpretation.
Okay.
So there are no wrong answers in this movie.
I believe that.
The whole movie could have been a dream sequence in Courtney's head. She could be in the mental institution after the events of the driller killer. She could have been the driller killer herself. Also, you might have missed it, but when that drill comes up from underneath the floor, I mean, it is obviously a maquette because the chair is the size of the drill, which is really, really weird. That's like what throws me off. Yeah. And then Courtney's not really
it's a little odd.
Yeah.
No.
It's a small chair.
I do like The small tiny chair.
The small tiny chair.
But I do small tiny chair. But no, I do like the idea where it is all left up to interpretation. It's such a strange movie. But I love it. Like I loved every second of it. It is a musical. It is a slasher. It's very watchable. It's fun.
Strangest fun. I mean, that's what I said.
Strange.
Like this was kind of like a little bit before its time. There's a lot of indie movies that kind of do this sort of now, where a lot of dream sequences are thrown in, a lot of weird kind of synthy montages are trying to thrown in the middle of like dialogue to sort of just like up the feel of the movie. And yeah, I think you had something there, Deborah Brock. And we're still talking about it now, 33 years later.
I think so too. And I don't agree with the negative reviews. I would totally give this one like 9 out of 10 because that driller killer, man, he is phenomenal.
I'm going to give it 6.5, 7.
Okay, you're going a little lower. I get you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if we're appreciating it for something for what it is. Yeah, 100%.
I will be purchasing some fan art of that man.
I'll just make you one, Courtney. I'll make you some.
Okay, yeah.
I'll make you
maybe some driller killer.
There was a time where I was drawing nothing but like rockabilly like guys for like a minute. Not even like too long ago, like 6 years ago. I had a friend who was like really into like rockabilly guys, and I loved his approach on it. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna do that, and I loved it. I still love doing some. Yeah, I got like a vampire greaser sticker. Yeah. That's one of my rockabilly dudes.
I like rockabilly dudes for sure. Greaser. Hell
so,
yeah.
If you're a horror head like us and you like some cult films, this movie is definitely one on our list to watch. If you're a horror head, you probably have already seen this one and probably just love us talking about it, you know? Also, I'm going to shameless plug real quick. If you follow us on any of the socials, you know, make sure you go to the Spotify or the Apple Podcast and give us a little like and subscribe, you know, or download it. Even if you don't listen to it, fuck it, just download it. You know, it helps us out a lot.
We appreciate it. We enjoy this so much. We really do. But it is our time and it is our money, and that's fine. But yeah, help us out, guys. Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Yeah,
I still might I was curious. I might check out the remakes. I had a hard time finding part 3, even though I know part 3 is the worst one out of the 3. I watched part 1 a long time ago. I think
it is on Tubi. If you are, I know you don't like Tubi, but I think it's on there if you want to.
No, it's not on Tubi. Every time I click on the Tubi one, it turns out to be a different movie called Stab in the Dark. Or it's like a small documentary.
Maybe it's not. Because there's definitely first one and there's Sorority House Massacre. Maybe that's what. Okay, that's from 86.
There was something fun there. There was a scene there where it was during like the copyright like page there, it says like none of this can be reproduced without prior authorization or whatever, and then it says or you would be visited by the driller killer himself. That's fun.
I love that. Immediately Lily downloads it. Where's he gonna come? He gonna be here?
Yeah. Oh. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Stay spooky, y'all.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.